I'm Godfrey Magila. I'm a software developer, but I also run a tech startup that's called Magilatech Company Limited, which mainly deals with software development and security auditing. So on software development, we do develop products, mostly software products. Some of them are in-house, meaning that we own the full intellectual property. Some of them we develop on behalf of other companies or other institutions. But also in security auditing, we do vulnerability assessment and penetration testing, meaning that we find weakness, security weakness in different systems or applications or any other technology services that people may use. So that's a brief about myself and what I do. So mainly as a company, we develop some few products. For instance, we have Tigo Backup. It's an application within Tigo that focuses on mobile security. So it's full data security and device security. In case your phone is stolen, you could be easily able to locate it. You could wipe the data. You could know who have done a SIM card change on your phone, which number is using your phone, the location, and all this happen. You could use the internet, or you could just use simply SMS. It's an application that relies on the internet, but also it can work without internet support. But also you can back up any content that you have on your device to Tigo Backup, and you can restore it anytime. So it performs several other. It have different variety of features that offer anti-theft kind of services on your mobile phone, like remote capture. In case someone is using your phone, it could easily capture the picture of someone using it without the person knowing it and sending it to your email as soon as the phone is connected to the internet. So it's a service that started earlier last year, and it has already recovered more than 3,600 phones from Tigo subscribers. So that's about Tigo Backup. We also have Visomo. It's a mobile application whereby right now people will study vocational studies, better vocational studies through your mobile phone. You do the exams, all the short courses on your mobile phone, and also you could easily book for practical training, and you could get certified for all the courses, all the better short courses. So the Visomo platform, we are the one that developed that platform. It's used by Beta. It's the only platform that enables people to study through the mobile phones and get certified. It's the same, by the way, it's the same certificate, like the certificate that someone who's in class will get, and it's even much more cheaper. You would pay more than 300,000 Tanzanian shillings for a single short course at Beta, but through the mobile phone you only pay 120,000.
How much do you get if you do it in the particular present, if you're in class?
Yes.
How much is it?
More than 300,000.
And how much is it when you do it online?
When you do it online, it's only 120,000.
Wow.
So it's almost less than 60%.
You said Visomo, you developed it, so
Yes.
you didn't start it at all.
Yeah,
you found a project, then you decided to extend it.
No.
Or you started it?
We came up with the concept. So Veta bought it, and Airtel. So right now it's
and Airtel as well?
Yeah, Airtel
Okay.
is the main project sponsor.
So you deal with Tigo. You also mentioned Tigo Backup.
Yeah.
Is this something that you started as an initial idea, or is this something that you found somewhere and you said, you know what, I like this idea, let me take it and put my name on it,
Yeah.
and let me develop it? How did it come about?
Okay, so it's a product that we developed in-house, and then we enter into a business relationship. We had a contract with Tigo, and then it's technically it's called Wekazako. But to the public it's called Tigo Backup. It's based on our business model, whereby we deal with we deal mostly on B2B. So we deal with a client, then they would brand it at their own as they would want to. So it's more of we have the product, then Tigo sells it to its subscriber base, as its customer base. They could call it anything. So then technically it's just a contract agreement that we have with them.
So my phone could get stolen anywhere or any place, and should I be localized, confined in Tanzania?
So
or
how it works
Yeah.
earlier is that when your phone is stolen, you go to report to the police. or maybe you would actually approach the telecom that's where you are operating from, and file a case. So they have a lot of those kind of cases. The police have a lot of cases, and sometimes when your case is handled, you are no longer interested with the phone. It can come 7 months after your phone was stolen, and you just say, I don't need it anymore. So we try to solve that kind of problem by providing a means whereby you could be able to do all the anti-theft activities on your mobile phone in case it's stolen. So if you go to a police, you just go with the number that's currently using your phone, the photo of the person who's using it, the location. I mean, it's everything. So now that they have all that data, it will be very easy for them to just go forward and get the phone. Yeah, and even sometimes it has a feature whereby some people would want to motivate or to send some incentives to the thief or the person who has possession with a mobile device. So with Tigo Backup, in case even the phone is stolen, you could message the thief, maybe I'll give you 100,000, then you could return my phone. But he or she won't be able to use it. You could easily lock the phone, but it can only be used to contact your emergency numbers that you preloaded before. So it has a set of other features in it. For instance, currently we're working on an image recognition feature that will be released in a few months ago. So we are always trying to see where the problem is, and then we put it on. So apart from that, apart from also Tigo Backup, we work with different kind of, for instance, we offer our security services on different banks or other institutions, financial institutions. We work with all the largest payment aggregators, meaning we work with Maxcom, we work with Telecom on a variety of projects. Also, we work with other kind of government institutions. We also offer them services. They might be software based, sometimes it might be penetration testing and security assessment. So the model that differentiates us on the market, for instance on security services, is that we all know there are big companies, let's say big companies offering the same kind of services, and it's a very competitive market. But what we do is that we would approach a client, ask to sign an NDA, and then we would test and find weakness on your security system. So it's more like hacking your system, and then you would see if it fits for you to give us the job or not.
Is there a different way of going through the system without hacking?
No, because otherwise it will be the same kind of story that we always get. I mean,
you have to show
it's not in our budget, or maybe we have to do it competitively, that we have to tender it, so everyone would apply and everything. So what we'll do is that we'll show you that this is the currently weakness that we've spotted on your system. We've been able to penetrate through this kind of means, and then you would see, maybe you can even close the security holes, patch them up, and do not pay us anything, or do not contract us for providing you the services. But it's up to you. If you're much impressed, then you could say, okay, we could offer you the vulnerability assessment, the penetration testing contract, and you become our security vendor. So that's how we got a lot of corporate connections.
You know, I'm sitting with you, and I'm very amused, and I'm very amazed. I have to say my truth. Nashangaza na vitu vingi, because you're 25, right?
Yeah.
You are 25, and I'm thinking some of these things or projects that you've been talking about, obviously you've been thinking about them or planning or projecting them for years.
Yeah.
How long did you start thinking about all of this? Let me take you back to, how did this all start? In school? Was it a passion? Was it something that you got from your family?
Okay. So my background is that I was born in Bear. In 1992.
Okay.
So I moved in Dar es Salaam with my mother, and unfortunately when I was just 5 years old, she passed away. And my father passed away when I was only 3 months. So I mean, I had to shift to my aunt and uncle. So they're the one that raised me up.
Okay.
My auntie was a teacher, a secondary teacher in a school called Mbezi Beach. And also my uncle was a boarding officer on a shipping line. But before that, before doing the boarding stuffs, he was, we call them the Kijiweni drivers, whereby they'll just sit and then you have something to get carried off, you would hire them to transport your packages or something like that. So I didn't come from a tech-related family or something, but through when I was born, I mean, and this is now, because I can't remember when I was 2 years old, 3 years old, 4 years old, but...
Are you sure you can't with that brain?
No. But what happens is that everyone that knew me by then, they would say I would really love tech-related stuff, electricity. I mean, very much amused with everything that would involve technology. Okay. And while I was living with my aunt and uncle, they used to hide all tech-related things. Yeah.
From you?
Yeah. So, for instance, my uncle would carry the TV in the morning. They would carry the TV inside the house, and then in the evening, when they're back, they would return it. Yeah. So they didn't trust it will be safe with me being around.
Were you the type of kid that would dismantle the TV
just
and put it back together?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't put it back together.
You just dismantled it?
Yeah, I just loved when I would try to explore back.
It's a great transition though, from a breaker to a maker.
Yeah.
Now you're a maker, but you used to be a breaker.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just wanted to know how things work back and forth. I mean, if you just turn off the light and put it back on and off, it's easy. But when you know the mechanics of how it works, I mean, what's done on the background, it's what really I was interested with. But I couldn't really get answers. So it was anything that was there. I mean, even my neighbors, they remember they didn't really like me getting in their living room when there's no any supervision from anyone, because at the end of the day they would ask, who broken this? It's Godi. Who broken this? It's Godi. Then always there will be complaints to my aunt and uncle that he did this today, he did that. So they'll just keep quiet, you know. And
quick question, sorry. Yeah. Did you pay them now? Because I think you can afford the payment right there. Mwaripa, the arrears, all the accruals that were left behind.
Not really. So
you can afford it.
Yeah. So what happened was that they knew that I was passionate about it. And apart from different kids, even when it was people would love games, I wouldn't love to play a game. I would like to destroy it. I mean, I would like to find the weakness point. If a game requires you to get 2,000 scores to pass to the next stage, I would want to know how could I pass to the next stage without having 2,000 scores. It's called reverse engineering. So it's like you just try. I mean, you just have this kind of imaginations and logic that you draw in your own mind, assuming that this would work. Maybe you could just easily assume, okay, if I just press A 2 times and then B and then I touch the volume up, maybe something would change. So it's more of I was exploring stuff. And my auntie decided that every weekend they would give me 500 shillings to go to the internet cafe. Okay. Every weekend, it was every Saturday they would give me that. They assumed that on the internet cafe, then I would be more of a gamer, or I would just be like other kids, loving games and doing that kind of stuff. So I could say that was the point where now I started learning a lot of stuff about technology. Because at the first time, during that time, all the internet cafes, they used this software called Time Watcher.
Yeah, they still use it, by the way.
So if
you know, it's 30 minutes, 15 minutes and counting.
Yeah. So if you remember well, during that time, Time Watcher, the first days that I used to go to these internet cafes, I mean, it was boring. I mean, I was not really interested in the games, but I would see every other kid that's there, they would be gaming, and I was bored. I was not really interested in that. I was interested with how could I make my own game and stuff. And I just loved sitting next to a computer. It just was very good, but the problem was that I was given 500 shillings, which could only buy you 1 hour during then. So what I did was trying to see how could I stay more on the internet, because I asked for money, more money. It was impossible to get that. So for Time Watch, it was very simple. If you change your computer time, then it's definitely a tweak. It won't log you out of your session. So if I backdate, for instance, right now I backdate 4 hours back of my computer time, Time Watch will still be counting 4 hours.
Okay.
So then I started that game, whereby I would enter in a new internet cafe each week, because at the end of the day now they would easily spot me. Someone know I paid maybe 500, but then they would see me every time, and then when they ask me, I would say I just paid the other guy, I reloaded. But I was still a kid. No one would realize that.
Would think that you could be able to hack into the system
to do that, and it's not even a hack. It was, I would say, something like it was very simple.
How many of you did that? Apparently it's simple to him, but how many of us, Yamani, raise your hand if you're one of the people who was able to backdate all of that. Were you able to do it? Do I get any person up, any extra person? Are you sure, bro? Are you really sure? Your conscience is telling you otherwise.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah. So during that time, then it was very easy for me to get to this, to stay a lot of time on the internet. So now my aunt and uncle started to get surprised. Like, we only gave you 500.
Why do you stay there that long?
I would just come in the evening and they'd say, "What were you doing all this time? Where were you?" And then I would just tell them I was actually the attendant of the internet cafe. I've become my friend, so they just let me stay for some time.
So what were you doing, by the way, all that time?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So all this time, what I was doing was simply I was just trying to explore different kind of technologies. During that time, for instance, on search engines and everything, there is no a way whereby I would just ask an attendant for something and then I would get to see. No, but on other way, I would just easily watch, like if I see someone else, for instance, if I see the person sitting next to me types very fast on a computer, I would want to peep what the person is doing, and they would just let me, I'm a child, so they would just let me sit next, and then I would ask them, "What's that? Or what's this?" And this attendant would get so furious that you always ask people questions. What's your problem? You paid for your own service. So then I started easily now getting a sort of an awareness whereby I started to recognize search engines power, like the Yahoo engine, like back then. So it was very much easy for me to explore stuff. So I would just even type maybe how to make a computer. I'll get these results, and that I'll just sit there, CEO, okay, or maybe I would visit maybe Cartoon Networks. During that time, there was a gaming site whereby you just see different games and you play these games. All I wanted was that, how are these games made, And then during that course, there was a friend of mine called Hussein, a neighbor. So Hussein was someone that he comes from a tech-related background. So he was teaching me stuffs. It's called Hussein Aule. He was teaching me stuffs. A lot of stuffs. He was teaching me, like, because he was someone who was passionate, but also he was exposed to computers. He sits with different kind of computers at his home. They got an internet connection. So then I would ask Hussein, come and teach me everything, and then he would be actually teaching me mostly on different kind of tricks. For instance, I started learning scripting languages, like from during that time I started Batch language for Windows programming.
Is that English, by the way? Is this English?
Yeah, it's English.
Okay.
English.
Scripting language at 15, eh?
Yeah.
At 15 or 14?
And that's not really
That's
15,
basic.
that's back.
That's before
back,
15.
Yeah.
What kind of language are you scripting? The binary digits?
The batch, no. Actually, when you, for instance, for someone who's using a Windows computer, you would see there is this batch files, .bat.
Okay.
So Hussein knew how to change colors of the computer through that through the console. He knew how to create some few components that were very much impressive. So what I did was that I was learning from him all that, and then I just found myself getting much more familiar with it. For instance, I would easily telnet another computer, someone who's sitting next to me. I mean, for instance, if it's an internet cafe with 10 computers, then I would want to easily, for instance, shut down the fourth computer from me. It was all through that kind of knowledge, whereby you would know the commands, the network commands. You would know the entire architecture of how the window machines work. All that it needs someone not necessarily to know the programming languages, but to have the understanding of how these computers work. So if I caused that kind of chaos, I was very happy. If someone's computer gets off, and then
you like it, and that's what you liked.
So because it was just something. I mean, I just wanted to know how things work back and forth. I didn't want to cause chaos, but it was just fun.
If you say so.
Yeah.
If you say so.
Yeah. So I started now muchly getting involved on programming as Hussein was exposed.
What age was that again?
I think it was in when I was 11 years old.
When you were 11?
Yeah.
That's when you started doing programming?
Yeah. That's when I started learning. Learning the basic.
Okay.
So then I had foundation, as I had, for instance, Hussein had another neighbor called Godfrey, just like me. He was, during that time, he was studying computer engineering. So we'd always ask him a lot of stuff, and then he would just answer us, as he thought we were passionate. So he'd say, this is done this way, this is done this way. And I was starting to learn things by myself. So I had a lot of imagination of how the computer works. I mean, even if it was, sometimes I would imagine a program working on a very opposite way, but just by that kind of imagination, it pushed me forward. So then I got myself exposed to programming. I was really much interested with security. During that time, I was not even aware of the term, like when you say security, when you say black hat, when you say white hat, I wasn't aware of that term. I just loved to see how things work back and forth. So for instance, by the time when I was in secondary school, not everyone had a mobile phone. So for those people who had mobile phones, there were different kind of softwares that I was really aware of what they do. For instance, during that time we had Magic Blue Hack. It's a software whereby you could easily read SMS or control a mobile device if they are connected to using Bluetooth. So you could control the other connected party mobile phone, do anything, make a call, reject a call, read the SMS.
If you connect it with what?
Yeah, Bluetooth. So if I just ask you for a phone and I have a device, I'll just load Magic Blue Hack on the phone, and if you just connect with my Bluetooth, I could easily do that kind of mischief, whereby I would make a call from your phone. It looks like you're making the call. I would reject a call, and I would actually read SMSs. So just trying to impress you,
No, I never knew about this application.
Yeah, I mean.
Anybody else knew about this magic, whatever?
All these things were on the internet.
Okay.
They're all on the internet. I mean,
I didn't.
Yeah. So you would easily now start learning, for instance, how to decompile. I mean, how to break that kind of application to see what's it made of. I mean, trying to reverse engineer. That's what I started getting very much interested on. And during that time, there were internet forums, like Progenic. It was an internet forum whereby developers or hackers globally meet and they would teach each other anything. And it was an invite-based kind of forum.
Okay.
Whereby they have a lot of hacking forums that currently are shut. Different of them are shuttered down because now hacking, it's become a term whereby it's much more
criminal.
It's more of a criminal term. But during that time, it was just people were passionate
passionate about knowing what other people are doing.
No, not that, but actually trying to, for instance, if it's trying to reverse engineer, I mean, trying to test your limits. I mean, if my limit is, if I get a message, access denied, and I do whatever it takes and I get a message, access granted, without credentials, it's something that you just feel, you know? Yeah, so it was what I was passionate about. And then as scaling up, then I started to see myself as I wanted to do a lot of things on my community. I mean, just to solve a lot of things. I mean, as the way I would. So I was not born an entrepreneur.
You weren't.
That's by sure. I was not born an entrepreneur. So when I was in 2011, or maybe just if I skip in 2011.
In college, right?
Yeah, when I was still in college, I lost my uncle and auntie. So they were my guardians. And during that time, I heard of this programming competition that was called Nane Nane Hackathon. It was organized by COSTECH, this Tanzania Commission of Science and Technology, and an innovation hub called KINU, and also DTBI. They organized this hacking. It's a programming competition whereby they just wanted people to gather, learn from, and come up with ideas that they would select a winner, and the winner would get a cash prize, but also an incubation chance of entering an incubation in order to develop further that idea. So a friend of mine, because I was not even studying computer science, I was studying accounts, Bachelor of Accounts. So a friend of mine told me, have you heard that, you know, you like a lot of stuffs about computing and stuffs, so there is a competition. You can go and watch what other people do from that competition. Okay. So I came, it was on this same building, on the last hall. There is a hall there.
And that was 2011?
Yeah, 2011. It was Nane Nane, so it was Tarenane.
Okay.
Yeah, it was called Nane Nane Hackathon. So when I got there, I met a lot of people, people who are in the computer science domain, students that were all competing for that prize, and everyone knew each other. You know, everyone was familiar. It's a community, but a lot of I didn't know a lot of people there. So while the person hosting it said now people should divide themselves into groups, and as the criteria for this kind of competition is, as you know, you're a computer science student or a computer science teacher, you could just that was the only criteria.
Formulate a group.
Yeah, you could just formulate a group of 4 people, and then you could easily compete. So everyone, as I said, lots of people knew each other, so everyone formed a group.
Nobody knew you?
No, because I was not on that domain. I was not familiar with the people who were there.
Quote unquote, you're an accountant and a finance person like that.
So it's very hard to just get in and socialize. But there was a group of 3 girls.
Okay.
They had no group. That's where they were just there, you know. Okay. And they were also waiting for the 4th person, but the 4th person never came, you know. And I think it's also the mentality, as during that time maybe everyone feared. I go to a group where there's only girls and this is a programming competition, you know. But it wasn't that way for me, because when the judge came and said, "Why are you alone?" I said, "I'm not a computer science student, but I know programming." Her name is called Catherine Rosell.
Okay.
She was, I don't know if people know her, but she was a head in KINU, Innovation Hub. Yeah, so when she heard what I said, and said, no, you said you know programming, it's okay. Join the group. Now find who's missing a group, and
then you join the group.
Yeah, who's missing a person in the group. So I went to the girls, and then when I went there, it was very simple. They just welcomed me. I mean, they didn't even bother. So they asked me, "So what are you studying?" I said, "FM." Oh, okay. So what are you studying? Bachelor of Accounts and Finance. Okay. It's interesting, but and then they say, "Okay, so what are you going to do?" Then I said, just give me any programming task. I mean, you could work with designs, you could work with anything, but just tell me to write the software. What idea are we going to bring?
You didn't have any idea by that time?
No, because we were to form the idea right there. I mean, and the idea should be, the criteria was that the ideas should be ideas with social impact.
Okay.
Yeah. So during that time, it was in 2011, then we decided to have this idea of a biometric voting system.
Okay.
Yeah. So the girls were, all of them, they were in UDism. They were studying UDism, computer science, 3rd year, and they were actually, they're ready, during that time, it's when they already graduated, if they were not about to graduate. So I told them that I think I know a lot about the biometric devices, so how they work. I mean, writing services that could actually use for a biometric device. So I think I could write that kind of service, and that we all give each another one another tasks. So we competed, and then we were the second winner.
Okay.
Yeah. Overall, we had more than.
Did the other guys see that?
50. Yeah.
The ones that didn't want you in their group?
I know, because I can't say people didn't want me in their group, but it's very logical. I mean, an accountant, why would
But you felt good, right?
Yeah, we're not writing books here, you know,
okay.
We're writing code. So it was very logical, and I understood it. But the truth is, I met a lot of friends during that time, through that competition. And I remember they had, before even that competition, they had a Q&A session, and I got like more than 50,000 Tanzanian shillings out of that Q&A. So it was, the judge was Eric Muta, the mini shop guy. Yeah, Mr. Problem Solved. So he would ask a question, and it was maybe he would ask maybe a question, any question that would relate with program. He would ask a question maybe addressing in C++ language, or maybe security issue or anything, and then people would answer. So I was the person who was answering every time, and then I was just winning that prize. Every time you answer a question, you win 10,000. So they were asked 7 questions. I answered 5 questions, and we were at more than 50 people right there. So during that time, then people thought maybe it's just, you know, it's just you today you woke up lucky.
Okay.
Yeah. So
let me fast forward. Sorry.
Yeah.
Now that was the first of many prizes and accolades that you got.
Yeah, that was the first.
That was 2011. That was your first big mark, your stepping stone, right?
Yeah.
Now I want to know, what did you do after that? What was your driving force after that, and what else did you do? The pitches, the write-ups that you had to do to get the money, sponsors, and grants, whatever, if you have any grants or you had any grants back then.
So during that time, after finishing that competition, as I said before, during that time I lost my guardians. So it was more of, I had also responsibility, family responsibility, because I have my cousins, I have my young sister and my young brother, so they need to go to school, fees. I'm in university, although I had a government scholarship, but I had to upkeep myself through doing something that would be generating money. And it wasn't that I never did before anything on the tech related side, but it was now I had to change myself into more of a business minded person, and I couldn't do it as very fast because I was very much passionate with what I'm doing. I forgot the money aspect. So as I told you, the prize winning, one of it was on entering an incubation hub. That was DTBI. So they groomed me into changing my mindset. So they told me, like, the first time I remember, they told me I do a lot of stuff, because when someone would ask me, pitch what you do, I would just list more than 20 kind of softwares that I've created, and you wouldn't know what I do really. I mean, what exactly do I do? I'll just say, I've created this, I do this. So they shaped me to have a laser focus of what I'm really going to stick on project-wise. So I started with different projects, started with mobile parliament, and it was a parliament where
conversation, things that are happening.
At the parliament, you remember there was a time whereby people could just use their mobile phone to hear the parliamentary sessions. So that was my first product. It's called Mobile Parliament. So
it's big, right? It's Mobile Parliament.
Yeah.
It's big.
So
I heard about it.
Yeah. So it was more of I just wanted to find a way, like maybe when members of parliament are saying yes and no on their parliamentary debates, simultaneously, apart from people listening, all people who are connected could press 5 for yes, 6 for no, and we could count those votes and show the difference. Maybe while 90% of the parliament said yes, maybe 80% of people who are connected said no. So we wanted to create such.
Were they taking that advice from us? The parliament? People in the parliament? That's a story for another day.
Project, yeah, for another day.
It's a story for another day.
Yeah. So with such kind of project, it's slowly, and I was also doing other small kind of projects. And by the way, even when I was in secondary school, I used to participate in a lot of stuff. For instance, when I was in secondary school, there is an organization, a school club called VOT. It's Voice of Orphans Tanzania. Okay. I created their application. They had this web application whereby they would global members would communicate online. So I did that while I was in Form 5. So I was already familiar with involving myself into projects, but in reality is that I only missed the money aspect or the commercialization aspect. I only did it because I wanted to do it. I mean, I just wanted to do as many projects as I can on the community. The
VOT app didn't have any sort of Kickstarter campaign?
No, they had it. Yeah, I created it for.
You created the VOT?
Yeah, app.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
But it was used globally.
Yeah, it was used.
So there was no any way or chance of people chipping in money.
No. By the way, I even created it accidentally because they had.
You created an app accidentally?
Yeah, because they had to launch. How I got the chance was that they had hired someone, a company, and this company did not deliver the product.
Okay.
And they had launching date after 2 weeks. So as a member of the school club, I heard the supervisor saying that kuna watu wamekula hela zetu, tulikuwa tunatengeneza hiki kitu hiki, and so he was stressed. And then I said I could create it, and he asked how much. I said for free, and he thought I was also joking. So just in short, I was very much pushed by passion of delivering something. So I created it for them. They deployed it and they started using it. So during now, forwarding to after I started, I won the prize. I opened Magilatech.
Okay.
Opening Magilatech, I started out as purely a software development and security auditing company. But my focus was only one thing: to create things with impact. I mean,
social impact.
Yeah, social impact. I mean, I really focused in social impact. It's more of when you're creating something, it's how you are first of all. I believe I was born knowing dividing before knowing multiplication. So then you would know how to share. You'd know how you need to impact your community with your own doing. So that's how I created Magilatech. And I started slowly participating on different projects. For instance, on the hub, I've participated on a lot of projects, but I was doing it as a background person. So you'd get a job, and then you would easily just tell me, do it, and you'd pay me a small amount of fee, and I'll do it, and then you could even go and say it was your own doing for the product. That's how I scaled up slowly, and then I started having own projects, launched old projects, but also we started launching other on behalf of other companies. That's how we got connected. For instance, we had Maxcom on the same hub. So at the end of the day, it's always there must be someone who's willing to take risks from you. That's how you get a client. I mean, for a startup, you can't get a client if someone won't really want to risk something by using a service. So that's how we got our first clients. It's more of whereby someone would want to see your capacity. They would give you this kind of work, do that kind of work. So we got few scale-ups, few scale-ups projects, started to create more, and then I changed the focus to more of, I would impact my society through a B2B business model, whereby I wouldn't necessarily go to the community. As you see in Tigo Backup, it's Tigo doing that, it's maybe it's Airtel doing the VSOMA project, there's Airtel, there's someone, but at the end of the day,
Airtel,
yeah,
Tigo, TRA as well?
Yeah, we do a lot of projects. Yeah.
Can we stop on that note? You made me think about a lot of things while you're mentioning all these projects that you mentioned. Everything you've done.
Yes.
I feel like, no offense, but you're a babysitter.
Okay.
You go to other people's houses and you take care of their babies. Now I want to know your baby, the baby that not in your womb, but you had a way of making that baby come to life. I want to know your own project that you made from scratch. That's yours. You don't have to sell it to anybody. That is your own blood, sweat, and tears with your people. I think you have a team of people working with you. I want to know about, do you have any product that's out there in the market, or maybe I have used it, or somebody has used it in here, but we have no idea about it.
Yeah, so as we're a tech development company, for instance, we developed some few, as I say, Tigo Backup, we own the full intellectual property, VSOMO, all those are our own products. But how we handle it in business-wise is that we sell it to someone. We enter a business agreement with someone as to push it on the market, but we manage them from the technical perspectives. We've developed it from scratch. Some of other services that maybe people don't know, they're using our services in a way is that, for instance, on these aggregators that we work with, they do mobile payment platforms. So we create even some of the APIs. Someone buys electricity on a mobile phone. At some point, you've used one of our work. You transfer money on a mobile payment channel, whereby we work with that aggregator. We've already created all those kind of APIs. So it's more of, since we are B2B, it's very hard for you to know you're using our product. But as I mentioned, the client portfolio, for instance, if you check Maxcom, if you check Celcom, you do the DAT, you have these kind of different projects. We work at them across, but also our own projects. If you Tigo Backup, for instance, it's purely, if you recovered your phone, it's purely Magilatech. But we also, apart from that, on a business-wise, the same product of Tigo Backup, it's called Cloud Plus. We've done it with AIS.
Okay.
So AIS is the largest telecom operator in Thailand. It have more than 45 million subscribers, which is almost near our population, total population. So it's the same as Tigo Backup. So the impact is more of the impact is there, but it's very hard for someone to know as Magilatech, as we've worked on these kind of services. For instance, we're working with Day One. We have a client. We're a technology partner for Day One. They've developed the local government revenue collection information system. So we've also developed a lot of services on that platform. A lot of modules are developed by Magilatech. So it's more of someone might pay tax on the local municipals and stuff, but they wouldn't know they're using Magilatech services. So that's how, based on our model, it's very hard for someone to know that you're using. So a lot of people have used our platforms, but it's very hard for them to know. Even sometime I would go together with my team, we would go, for instance, to a client and we would say, we're looking to digitize, maybe to process this, or we want to create something, this kind of thing to you. So they would say, what have you guys done? And we would say, you have a certain kind of services. So the API that's connected you with that services is developed by us. And then they would ask now the vendor, like, oh, so you guys work with Magilatech? Yeah, they are technology vendors.
Okay.
So then it's really hard, because if someone looks at me, if I approach you right now and I ask you, can I create your website? At least now I'm a bit, but just 6 years back or 5 years back, I was this kind of guy, and very, very small, and it was hard to work with. As you wouldn't even really realize I would have the capacity or my team. But right now, it's very easy because we have a team.
How many people do you work with?
As a company-wise?
As a company.
As providing technology vending.
Magilatech.
Oh, Magilatech. I mean, how many?
Co-limited.
Oh, okay.
Employees.
So we have 15 right now. It's 15.
Including you?
Yeah, including me.
Okay.
It's 15 that have direct employment, but we also have people who we subcontract them. 7 of them.
7.
Yeah, but full-time workers we have 15.
Okay.
And just 4 years back, I was doing it alone. I was the accountant. I was the
marketer.
Yeah, I was everything.
The IT person.
Yeah. It's what for every startup,
for
every tech startup.
Did it crash or did it?
Yeah.
You know, I've been hearing a lot of things, and so many things I've been hearing are wins.
Yeah.
I don't like to be the bearer of bad news, but is there any type of failure that you've experienced in the past?
A lot of failures. I've had products that they would die before even launching. I've had products or ideas that were shut down by people because as before it was I would ask someone, for instance, we have this idea, and someone would say, don't do it. So before I was listening to that, and they would say, in our community, I'm sorry to say this, but we live by inspirational stories and stuff. I mean, someone would ask you, umemsikia nani amewahi kufanyikia hicho kitu? So at the end of the day, I was also a victim of that kind of.
But you never stopped.
Yeah, I mean, some I stopped.
Some you stopped.
Yeah, very. I stopped the many.
Is there anything that you regret that would have been big right now?
Yeah, I mean.
NDA. Let's just sign an NDA, but don't steal his idea.
No.
In our heads, we'll sign an NDA.
That's it. I mean, for instance, on the issue of ideas, when you say someone's stealing your idea, you have to know. I mean, I believe there is share or secret. If you're on that share group, then nothing. I don't believe something bad would happen to you. But if you're that secret person, I mean, an idea is worthless unless it's really into the market. I mean, it's really commercialized or it's really pushing. So I was a victim of a person whereby I also believed at first. I also believed whereby you say, if you just go to someone and tell this person your idea, they will steal it, or maybe some products we had failure. Some products failed on, for instance, a project like Mobile Parliament. I mean, we just couldn't survive based on our environment. The business model we were doing it. What we were the main focus for Mobile Parliament and the current environment. It's not really something that could have survived. I mean. We were broadcasting live parliament sessions. So
I heard something. Sorry to cut you short. I heard something which I think you're very humble to talk about. I don't know why. I don't know why you're beating around the bush to talk about it. It could be a rumor. It could be there could be some sort of truth in it. There's something in the pipeline that you're making that could be very, very easy for a lot of us in this country to watch or view.
Oh yes.
Is it something that is it true what I'm about to talk about?
Yeah.
Is it something that could also take other people's business to shame?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yeah. We've worked this again.
Now, put me up to speed about that.
Yeah. So we have a project. It's called Cal TV.
Actually,
Cal TV.
Cal
TV. The same as Cal.
As in CARL.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cal TV. So actually what Cal TV does is that it's a project, by the way, we won an award in 2015 from ITU.
International Telecommunications Union.
Yeah, it's more of the United Nations of Technology.
Big deal. Big deal.
Yeah, so it's a project that's on the pipeline whereby we work with, maybe let's go straight for what it does is that it enables people to, right now, after the digital migration, people watch television from these kind of digital devices, whereby you would have a decoder to watch television, but the analog kind of thing is off. So people would also use applications, the internet, to watch TV or something like that. Or maybe someone would go would subscribe to a certain kind of service to watch a football match. So we have a product whereby we've created and we've also ventured with a Telecom in Tanzania, but also another multiplex operator, a licensed operator, whereby people would be able to watch television or these channels, TV channels, from their mobile devices without using the internet. They will just yeah.
Without using the internet. You heard it from my voice. I had to say to my medical girl, so I couldn't control it.
So they would just
without internet.
Yeah, without internet. You just plug in the device, and the device will decode the signals, and they would show you the television channel, but also
local and international.
Local and international. So that's why we have a multiplex operator, and we have a telecom on it. On the telecom part comes whereby if someone would want to watch, for instance, a match, that how it works is that kwa sisi tuna wanaoangalia mpira, labda kuna ile wanapenda mtu anaenda labda anaaga nyumbani anaenda bar nini, simajua unaangalia zako TV. Kwa hiyo sasa yenyewe utaweza kulipia mechi unaenda kuangalia bar, unalipa labda ni shilingi 300, labda mechi ya Manchester na nani, unalipia hapo kama ni 300 au
300.
Natoa mfano 300, 200, unaangalizia kwenye simu yako, na haidepend kwenye internet useme kwamba itakula internet yako, wala vile the device ni portable.
So you just plug in a device?
Yeah, you just plug in the
device. Is it like a flasher?
Yeah, it's just like a flash. I mean, if I knew this question would come, I would at least share how it looks like. But you could, people could access it. It's called Car TV. You could look on. I think we did a video at the first time when we were testing it. We did a video and we uploaded it to YouTube. It's called Car TV, and people would know more about it. They could just check it out. So the product now itawezesha watu kuangalia hizi channels moja kwa moja kwenye simu zao, na anaweza kalipa. Kwa kama sasa hivi kuna mechi, sina haja ya kwenda
to watch football. But some people also do it for so many reasons.
Yeah, ndio hicho ninachosema kwamba kusema kwamba mtu unaenda hapa nini, sijasema sehemu nyingine. Hata nyumbani watu watakuwa wanakuwa wanakaa nyumbani tu. Ukiona mtu anakuambia anaenda bar, mpe tu Call TV, mwambie angalia mechi yako hapo.
Iko tayari as I don't know if it's going to be saving marriages or breaking marriages. Is it going to be, I don't know. Most of my friends, they have an outlet wakitoka nje.
So with such kind of product, kuna a lot of license to operate, a lot of venturing, as hata hizo mechi zenyewe unajua ni international rights and stuff. So the product as product iko completed, tested wise, fully tested. So it's more sasa hivi the commercial part, the commercialization.
So when are we gonna when is it gonna be put on the table for a person like me kusema now sendi bar kuangalia kitu fulani au sendi sehemu fulani?
Very soon, as long as we solve this these stages of commercializing it, then it would be actually out. Mtu yote ataweza kuipata. Na of course inaweza kapatikana vile vile bure kwa baadhi ya wateja wa Telecom fulani.
You know, I think I'm getting way carried away with this. Now I'm going to ask you one last question, hopefully, or two, because I have something in my head. You know, actually the floor huku. Now, you've talked about so many things. You talked about success. You talked about weakness. You talked about your business and obviously to grow. But now I'm looking at your work. I'm thinking about longevity. I'm thinking about monitoring and evaluating your business. Is it easy? Is it hard? Do you see some of these projects that you're doing, Make? No offense, but you're like a pregnant person with so many babies. You have so many kids inside you, and every kid needs different treatment, different whatever. Where are you going from now? How is the longevity going to be like? How do you monitor? How do you evaluate your growth? Your whatever. Kuna wengine tunaangalia tunapata milioni 5, sasa hivi napata milioni 10. Kuna wengine angalia subscribers, kuna wengine angalia so many things. How is it with you? Is it internal, external?
Kwa sisi, the way we evaluate ourselves, cha kwanza kabisa, we do not really look at the commercial aspect.
When you say commercial, you mean money?
Ndio hicho, yani naenda kwamba kuna mwingine ana evaluate biashara yake kwa kuangalia pesa. Kutokana na sisi tulivyo, bado ananielezea vile vile hata my team. Sio kwamba I have a team of people that we share the same kind of mindset.
Of not liking money that much?
I know, not making that money that much, but impact comes first.
Okay.
So the more tunashiriki project than the impact. Hata kama sio directly sisi wenye intellectual property, hata kama tumemtengenezea mtu on behalf au tuna manage on behalf au tunafanya kitu chochote, ndio the way tunavo evaluate growth yetu. Alafu cha pili kinachokuja ni tunavo sustain, labda maana kinachotokea ni kwamba client leo anaweza kuomba umtengeneze kitu kimoja. Huyu mtu akirudi kesho na kesho kutwa kwa vitu vingine, it means umeweza kumanage. Lakini at the end of the day ni kwamba sisi as a company kuna that tunakuja sasa kwenye commercial aspect ambayo sisi kwetu tunaweka ni the third thing, kwamba sasa hapo tunaangalia vile tunaweza tukaangalia vitu kama turnover, tunaweza tukaangalia based on our roadmap projects ambazo labda tunapanga as a company, as a tech company. Always lazima uwe na roadmap ya what do you see yourself, yani 2020 if God wishes mtakuwa mnafanya nini, 2019 mtakuwa mnafanya nini. Kwa hiyo sasa tunaangalia, je, tumekaa within the same trail au tumehama, tumedivert kabisa. Kwa hivyo vitu ndio tunavyotumia ku-evaluate our growth. Lakini vile vile tunaangalia sana katika kitu ambacho tunaangalia sana ni how we handle, tunachoangalia sana ni how we handle these projects. Kwa sababu at the end of the day unaweza ukaona labda unaweza ikaonekana tunafanya labda kama ulivyosema pregnant woman, lakini that's not reality. Kwa sababu as a company mtakuwa mmejigawa, hawa watafanya hiki, hawa watafanya hiki, hawa watahandle hiki, hawa watafanya hiki. Na sisi kikubwa chetu ni kwamba we are not driven na kufanya vitu vingi kwa wakati mmoja. Ndio maana products nimeelezea kwamba tunaangalia sana za impact. Hatuna any entertainment software. Sio kwamba hatuwezi ku deal na watu, labda mtu anayetaka entertainment na kija leo tutafanya naye biashara, lakini tunaangalia sana vitu vyenye impact. Yani vitu ambavyo tunaweza ukituambia tuhesabu what we have communicated au what we have actually tumesaidia nini nchi yetu, tunaweza tukakutajia moja kwa moja. Yani tunaweza tukakutajia projects tumefanya hiki kikafanyika hivi. Lakini ukisema to stick labda turnover hiyo ya kwanza, sisi wenyewe tunajijua tutakuwa tunakosea. Kwa sababu at the end of the day ukimeasure your growth for a tech company, ukimeasure your growth with turnover, hicho kitu kitakuja kukupa majibu ambayo sio. Maana unaweza ukawa na wateja 20 lakini mteja anaye run kampuni yako ni mmoja.
Now I want to ask you one last quick question. Yeah, no more jibu haraka make. Yeah. I see a lot of angry people hapa. You want to ask your own questions? Don't worry, we still got time. You've said a lot of things about you've done, especially within the country.
Yes.
Any future prospects of that, if you have already gone umeshatoka mipaka Tanzania,
yeah, or
if you're planning in the near future either Kenya, Uganda, or maybe you want to sell your products to Queen Elizabeth or Trump, I don't know.
Tumesha bahati nzuri Mungu ametusaidia, tumeshapata wateja wa nje. Kwa mfano kama nilivyoelezea IAS Thailand, which tunashukuru serikali ya Tanzania kupitia TCRA na DTBI tumeasansi ndio tuweza kupata that kind of channel. Tunafanya nao biashara.
Okay.
Thailand. Yeah, tunafanya nao biashara mpaka leo. Lakini vile vile tuna Pact Global ni organization ambayo inajihusisha na masuala ya microfinances hizi, SACCOS na nini. Tunafanya nao kazi, ni shirika ambalo liko Marekani.
Okay.
Tunafanya nao kazi na vile vile tumesha participate. Kuna baadhi ya wateja wetu wenyewe at least wame go beyond mipaka ya Tanzania. Kwa hiyo na sisi tunaenda kupitia huko. Kuna Maxcom, Telecom wako all over East Africa, wako sehemu nyingine. Kwa hiyo unakuta na sisi tunakuwa as long as we are doing the services zinagusa mipaka mingine. So, and kwenye plan sasa hivi as for Africa, sasa hivi Magilatech imefungua sub company ambayo inaitwa Smarter Digital Africa, ya SDA, ambayo yenyewe ita focus mainly on Africa. Yani ni kwamba nikimaanisha kwamba itakuwa ikifocus kutengeneza, tunaangaliaga matatizo ambayo yanatuzunguka ndio tunafikiria for the solution. That's how tunafanya kazi hata leo hii. Sisi tunachokusanya, utofauti ni kwamba tunakusanya maoni. Yani hata ofisini kwetu ni kwamba ni kama vile mtu anakuwa, yani ni kama maripota, yani kwamba unaangalia labda umesikia mtaani kwenu kitu fulani ni tatizo sana, lazima ukiripoti ofisini. Alafu tunaangalia, je, hichi kitu tunaweza tukafanya nini kwenye hiyo issue. Sasa hivi focus yetu imekuwa tunataka twende Africa. So 2018 kampuni tayari kila kitu kimesha kuwa settled up. 2018 ndio tutaingia nayo sokoni sasa kwa ajili sasa kuaddress in Africa. Yani sio tu limited to Tanzania, kwamba tukisikia kwamba kuna tatizo nchi nyingine ya Afrika hapa tunaweza tuka address, kwa sababu tunaamini that track record ya kuhandle issue zetu hapa Tanzania zitakuwa zimeenda mbele.
Okay. Just when I was about to say bye-bye on my part, then I remembered Forbes. You know, this guy was featured on Forbes. I know very few people in my life I've met, that I've known, I went to school with, who are member of Forbes. I'm featured in that magazine. We all know it's a billionaire, millionaire magazine. Now, how do you land your position pale? Ukaambia, hi, my name is Godfrey Magila, and I think in 2 years I might be a billionaire. Feature me. Do you apply? Somebody nominated you? There was a lot of traffic online, people talking about you. How God decided to come down with His good grace, akasema bwana, put this kid on this magazine.
Okay. For Forbes nadhani ilikuwa ni.
Sorry, can you raise your voice so you're talking about billions?
So kwa Forbes nadhani ilikuwa nomination.
Okay.
Somewhere labda along there kulikuwa ni wamenipata through nomination. Sijui walinipataje. I'll be very honest
about it.
Sijui wamenipataje, lakini ni kwamba wanakuuliza, wanakuwa wanafuatilia, kuna baadhi ya data wanakuwa wanakuuliza kutoka kwako, lakini kuna baadhi ya vitu ambazo vinakuwa vithibitisho as wao wanakuwa wanavitaka. Inaweza ikawa ni labda baadhi ya contacts, kama ukisema wakiangalia labda project labda Tigo Backup, then watacontact moja kwa moja Tigo. Labda kama ni Airtel watacontact Airtel, kama ni AES watacontact AES, vitu kama hivyo.
Okay.
Kwa hiyo nadhani ni moya kwamba hata mimi mwenyewe sijui, lakini kuwa pale ni bahati. At the end of the day ni bahati, yani sio, sidhani kwamba even I deserve. Kuna watu wengi kwenye society yetu ambao wanafanya the same things, lakini mimi ni bahati tu.
Okay. So, even though I still have questions, lakini my teammates up on Angela said, let's just stop, you're talking too much. Now, this is our session about, we had a Q&A session but with Godfrey Magila from Magilatech. I am very inspired and very amused right now. Trust me, I'm holding it back as it is. Lakini, hopefully you've heard, and there's some sort of ice. The ice is inspire, connect, and educate. That's what we aim to do at Startup Grind. Now, the one big lesson that I got from all of this is it's not the size of the boat, but rather the motion of the ocean. Meaning, when I saw this guy, or when I read about him, who am I interviewing? Who am I talking to? He's 25. Okay, when did he start? 15. How tall is he? How short is he? Heavy. How big is it? It's not about the size of the boat. It's about the motion of the ocean. This guy had a motion from the get-go. He had a passion for doing something, and today he's here. He's all over, and we're talking to him, and we're getting so many things to learn hapa. Sasa, without any further ado, nadhani the drum rolls. Back to you. Alright, you guys, napa space and room and everything to talk and ask questions. Lakini now, please, let us be precise, tuwe makini when we're asking these questions. Straight to the point, tusizunguke sana, like a whole minute. Una preamble a question, then you throw the question in the second minute. Tuambie ni nani, what you do, where you come from. We'd like to know you as well. Then shoot your question. Let it be quick, precise. Natoka kama 20, 30 minutes, at least for the floor. Tuweze kuuliza maswali. Godfrey Magila, Magilatech, and audience, karibuni. Yeah, raise your hands. Karibu.
My name is I'm a retiree. I'm inspired by the fact that you did accountancy at college. You are now doing programming and software engineering. Now I'm asking this because I have a daughter who just graduated records. And I was encouraging her to go and read, you know, they call the Internet of Things.
Yes.
Now, there is a BSc degree in China in the Internet of Things.
Yes.
Now, with her background in physics and mathematics, I thought she would do well at that course.
Yes.
And she looks at me and she says, "Excuse me?
Yes.
China? Internet of Things?" She says, "No, I want to read accounting." Now, with your background, I know you're 25, but supposing you are a parent and you are trying to advise this girl, you see where this world is headed to, would you still advise her to go and read accounting, or would you rather she read something that runs with the new world?
Thank you, Mr.
Muso.
Thank you, Mr. Muso.
Okay, so as a parent, my
Supposed.
advice, yeah, supposed as a parent.
I think you're not a parent yet, right?
Yeah.
Supposedly.
Yeah. So as a parent, my advice would be, as you said, the Internet of Things, technology is everywhere, and if the driving force within her is in accounts, I would actually let her study accounts. But technology.
When you know that in another 10 years accounting will be obsolete.
Yes. I would just let her study accounts. But in relation to letting her study accounts, I know technology now is in a cross-platform kind of issue, whereby technology cuts across every sector, even if it's accounts. I mean, she would go to study accounts, but I would maybe emphasize her to adapt, to see what's currently digitizing accounts. I mean, what accounting process are being replaced by technology. She could learn that technology and perfect it much more better than someone that would go to technology and go back to accounts. So it's more of, I would advise her to do accounts, but then find the relationship of technology with accounts in the angle whereby she looks at the future. Because we know right now, for instance, in artificial intelligence, there is some kind of, with this kind of innovations coming every day, there is a time whereby I'm sure some accountant or any other fields can be replaced. So she should know before that time comes, she should be on the other side. I mean, that's how it's going to be. I mean, you need for her to go there, get involved emotionally onto accounts, and then she would now see the bigger picture of what's the relationship of technology or the Internet of Things in relationship to my field right now. And she would definitely explore and realize, if this is what I'm doing, I need to take this in everything. Because if there is a human that would be able to spot an error from an accounting book, I mean, if there is a machine that would be able to spot an error from an accounting book, that's artificial intelligence. It means necessarily we don't need an accountant right there to spot that error. So as it goes across, I think you need just to advise her, to give her all the blessing, but you should also warn her, like she needs also to know about it. She needs also to connect with technology in relationship to what she does, because it's very easy right now. To give her an example, if you have a robot processing books on a bar, for instance, a robot serving someone, I mean, then it's much, just by imagination you would imagine, what if this is right now, what about 20 years to come? I mean, she would also get alerted. So I think that's...
Are you satisfied with the answer? Sasa, this evil man who just came and whispered something in my ear, kwamba we have a few minutes, lakini I'll try to squeeze in more kidogo.
Okay.
Naomba, as we continue, tujaribu kwenda a bit quicker with the questions now. Please, my brother,
yeah.
You talk like a lecturer in a very good way. Naomba tujaribu keep it short. Let's try to kiss the answers. Keep it short and simple. keep it short and simple. Let's get the answers.
My name is Eally Mabombo. I'm handling iOS as well as web developer.
Okay.
I have 2 or 3 questions to ask. The first one, if today I have a product which I see it will need some revenue to my company or as a person, okay? And we as a startup, as we all know, we have to start somewhere. For startup to go direct to a telecom and presenting their ideas, their products, it's quite challenging. Okay, so question goes to you: How would you approach a telecom if you have a product and you see it has a future in it? How would you approach them so as you can sign maybe an NDA? Because most of the startups which are young, I can say, most of the ideas they have been snatched by these telecom operators. It's quite challenging in that era. The second one, how could you protect an idea? If I have a complete, I have an idea and then I have a product developed on top of it, how would I protect it from people grabbing my idea and then go on and do their own product? Okay. So I would say those 2 questions.
2 questions, okay.
Okay.
So the first question is that for a startup approaching a telecom company or any giant company, what you do is that always go differently. I will give you an example. Based on what our environment, any startup approaching a telecom would have your own interpretation of what the telecom would reply you. I mean, what you're going to get out of that business. So we always want money first on the table, which our community right now, it's not that way. It's not money first on the table. It's what you have to offer and what value do they get from doing business with you. So if you have a good idea, and a good idea is always a good idea, a good product is always a good product, it's a matter of the way you would convey it to them. Because what happens is that someone would want to approach a telecom, and then they would want, apart from getting paid from that kind of scenario, they would want also to dominate the product, to dominate the contract. But what we forget is that, why are you following a telecom? Because it's either their user base, they have millions of users, so you assume that as long as I just put my product there, I have users by default. So the same way, you need to differentiate yourself through the business model or the actual product that you're creating there. So if there is your model would, for instance, be revenue share. I believe always in sharing. If you're going to say revenue share, at least any telecom would go, okay, so I don't have to invest anything on this product. We're just going to share revenues. But if you say, pay me $1 million and I'm giving you this product, that's not how they would see the business to do with you as it's going to be conducive. So it's more of how you approach them, also what you have that will differentiate you from any other vendor or any other provider who can come easily with the same product as you have, and also your value. The value of that kind of business as is it really what they see as it might be a value to you, but it might not be a value for them. So they want a product to address a problem that is having maybe 1 million, it's across 1 million people, but you have a product which can solve only a problem for 10,000 people of their subscribers. So that's different, it's a product they want, but it's not actually what meets their expectations or what meets their plans during that time. So it's more of that, and I always believe in luck. it's also something that you need, because if you trust yourself, luck will always follow you. But if you don't trust yourself, it's also another problem. I mean, forget about the stories that we always hear, you know, like ukienda pale watakuzingua. Mimi najua kuna mshikaji fulani. It's always that way. I mean, have you ever don't you have friends like that? I mean, that tell you ukienda pale watakuzingua, that name, you know. So it's the same thing. You just go pitch. I mean, when you pitch your idea, you feel confident about it. It's always what they see in you first, your first impression. Forget even about the product. What they see in you. Are you serious with the product? That's it. So for the second question, for intellectual property as protecting for our domain, the software part, normally we get the corporate certificate from COSOTA. Some would even further go to file for a patent to an international board, or a board that's connected to Tanzania for patents, because unfortunately in Tanzania there is no that patent for software. So it's more of we use the COSOTA process, whereby you get the copyright clearance, and then when you get that copyright clearance, it's the one that you would use it legally as a protection for your idea. That's what I've been experienced with on handling our products. So it's more of that way. So now saying that kumzuia mtu kukuibia, that's another issue. As we know, you could copy my products, you know. I could copy your product. We could just copy anything, you know. That's the bad thing about technology. There's no boundary to what you have, you know. Someone might even change the entire designs, but how it works is just your own product. So again, it's luck.
Sasa, my good friends, let me just be very honest. I think I have come at 10 minutes, and within 10 minutes, it means come your questions. Again, please, I repeat, numbers are very precise, you know, straight to the point. Ata mwenyewe akijibu kwa ufupi, sababu I see so many hands right now. Is there a lady, by the way? I might have heard myself and so many other guys talking as well. Anyway, jamaa wangu hapa. Lakini again, we have 10 minutes, so let's try to be very quick. Jamaa hapa, the guy in the middle.
Alright, so your story is very interesting. Yeah. Very inspiring. So, you know, the tech industry, there's a lot of companies, right? But it seems like you've been splitting the share as a startup. You've been splitting the share with bigger guys, right? So it's like a very small baby eating with these big guys, right? Which is almost impossible. So what I want to know is how do you position yourself against these big people and still win the bigger contracts, just like them? I understand that you say that you're using the B2B model, which is a bit different from the traditional models that businesses use. But what's the golden rule that makes you win against these big people? Because they have the bigger powers, you know, they have bigger global powers, and they own all the resources, and they have connections. So, but yet you go in line with them.
Okay, so not only I deal with bigger people, I'll just say that. I also deal with small companies. Maybe I didn't mention, I have business relationships with other startups. We have Twende, the guy Justin. I have the Adithya person. We also have business relationships. I have several other business relationships with other products. But why did we position ourselves? It's because, first of all, it was a way to penetrate the market. I mean, if there is for instance, if there is a tender, like if there is a tender whereby I would compete with the giant, when I'm sure that if this tender is going to be capacity based, technology based, then I could easily compete. But if they're going to check, like maybe some other tenders we know, like a government would issue a tender whereby any person or any startup could actually have the capacity to deliver it. But they would have this small criteria whereby they would tell you at least the turnover would be $5 million US. So in reality, you know, if this is what they would use to evaluate the winner, I would not actually survive this. So what do? I try to come up with a model whereby I approach someone who's going to apply for that tender and say, if maybe you're going to use X amount to deliver this tender, more than X amount. So I'm going to give you this tender for a reduced price of maybe 40%. So I wouldn't care how much you would win, what's the value that you won, but I actually gave you my own stated amount that you have seen. It's okay. I see it's reasonable. So then they would let you. So in that way, we've in a way that find a way to fight competition, because we're also growing. There would reach a time whereby we wouldn't want to merge with someone. We would want also to go alone.
Then should you think if one of your strategies to win a tender is to come with a smaller amount compared to what other bidders are raising?
Yeah.
Don't you think that's something that would lower the market value of the software industry?
Okay. So first, in reality, as we know, there is no specific market value for software. That's why the same software that I would sell someone for 1,000, you can sell it for 5,000, or you can sell it for 500, because it's a very low risk based business, but with higher complications. So I think we're not even lowering the market price, because when we enter a relationship, it's with you, not with exposed to the market. I mean, it's a contract that we enter to provide you a certain service. So it's more of how we win, how we want to win it. We've also lost a lot of tenders, and it's an learning curve, whereby today you lose this, you'll know, okay, I lose this because I was actually, when the results came out, I was the one that bidded for a very higher price. So you learn tomorrow you would have to go to the lowest, I mean, whereby you would cut your expense. Yeah.
Sasa, with that being said, because I realize every time I say short questions, precise, whatever, it's not happening. There will be an extra. When we're done, close, and the curtains fall down, mtaulizana after the end of the session. What I'd like to do right now, again, I think 2 chances, right? 2 chances. I'm being very noble. Trust me. I see evil eyes. Jamangu hapa, the guy wearing the yellow. Na jamangu hapa 3. Lakini you have to make sure it's very quick. 3 last people. I would have given room to any lady or girl who've done lakini amkubali. Answer where. Precise, short, as well.
Thank you.
So advice, I think the best part they take on from the story is that we are self-taught program. So as an advice or piece of advice to those who make the room of programming, what is your advice? What should they do from the languages to choose? What to do? What's the trend now? And as a side question, do you accept projects as personal projects?
Okay. Yes. First, I'll go with. I support personal projects. We work with personal projects. As I said, Magilatech is a company with a team whereby we do all kind of projects. But we also personally, I provide mentorship to a lot of other startups, and I've been doing it for a long time on a programming level, whereby I didn't mention earlier, but I teach programming through the Africa Dojo. So Africa Dojo, whereby we get students, small students, primary students. We teach them programming, but also I am a Microsoft TOT. So during just 3 years back, I used to teach for Microsoft app development. Well, we've already taught at UDism, we've already taught on several institutions on behalf of teaching people how to develop Windows mobile apps. So it's more of I would advise currently, if you want to learn, the internet will be the first place whereby you would learn very easily. Right now we have channels, YouTube channels, teaching programming very easily, and academic, different forums for programming. So there, it's where you need to focus, but also mentor. So in case you're welcome to participate in the project.
Sante Peter, my brother.
I say my name is Albert Secha from University of Dar es Salaam, Telecom engineering, and this graduated last month. My question is if he used to advise the government of Tanzania concerning the level of technology. As we all know, Kenya and Rwanda are so good in technology as compared to
my only advice to my government would be Tanzania is ready. I mean, all the young people out there, they're ready. All the students in university, they're ready. We have that capacity. So at least if it was that, for instance, if I was to advise, I would say a certain portion, like maybe 35% of government procurement, for instance, could go to startups. And these startups could even be on university level. And then I think it's a way we need to build our own products for us to have our own local capacity increment in order for us to grow further in technology rather than adapting technology from other parts.
Asante. Last question of the day.
My question is, as we know right now, technology is the key for development for any country. So the problem that we lack is most of the students, almost people, learn this programming language and technology when in a university. So I mean, when people like you or other people there to start movements about educating students from background, I mean from high school or secondary school, so as they can practice this thing. So, as you, an entrepreneur or someone who has an advanced for that thing, so do you have any movement or you just plan to start to educate people from from the background? Because either we do technology, either we do this thing for money or for making the world a better place. So,
Yeah.
As we need to make our world a better place. So, do you have any movement for that thing?
Actually, I wouldn't call it a movement, but I'm always open to share around, to put force on different entrepreneurs that everything is possible. In Tanzania, we are a country that's on transition to technology. As you see now, everything is readapting technology every day. So I always open to people that they can do anything. They should not limit themselves. They should not limit themselves to success stories. We cannot look Facebook success in order for you to imagine your own product success. So if you're going to start a business imagining Mark Zuckerberg's success, then you're going to get frustrated here in Tanzania. But if you're going to start a business imagining impact, that force of impact is even much more bigger than financial force. Because at times it will be easy for you to maintain, even when you fail, it will be easy for you. You have that force to continue doing what you do. But if you're going to have that idea for commercialization, a lot of startups, I think it's whereby we should not really focus. The focus would always be there for money, but let's make it the second thing. Let's make impact first, the first thing. I understand you can start it based on you want returns out of it, but if we do that, a lot of startups here would move forward. I've seen a lot of people with great ideas, and I've also seen them launching the ideas and they get successful, but also they fail. We've also failed on other products, but as you know, you're a software engineer. A software is like a baby. You wouldn't want it to die. You would actually even utaamua kukopa hela ili product yako iendelee, au utatoa hela huku, unaweza hata ukatoa hela kwenye kilimo, utatafuta njia yoyote ili ile product iendelee kuishi. So the same way kwa any startup, kama the forces within you first, unaanza kuangalia kwa mazingira yale ya kwamba hii biashara nayoifanya nataka change kitu fulani sehemu fulani, always nadhani unaweza hata ukapea hivyo, itakuwa rahisi wewe hata kuhama. Unaweza kuwa na the same idea, inahama kidogo, inakuwa sasa hivi na focus kwenye hiki au kwenye hiki, ili mradi ufike mbali. Lakini vivyo utakuwa unaanza kitu naacha, which unajua kabisa ni rahisi sana kwa software ukaiacha. Yani kuna watu wengi, kila programu utayemuuliza au kila startup, tech startup hana software moja, yani anazo nyingi. Atakwambia ile niliacha. Mtu anaweza akakwambia product kama Facebook, mimi nilikuwa na hilo wazo toka 2007. Kibongo bongo utasema hizi kiki hizi. lakini ni ukweli. Unajua, yani ni ukweli. Labda mtu alikuwa na the same idea au the same Instagram idea, anaweza kawa kuna mtu alikuwa nayo muda mrefu ila anashindwa kufanya. Tunazungukwa na community, watu wana mawazo kweli. Kama umegundua Tanzania watu wana mawazo mazuri sana. Sana yani. Lakini inaweza ikawa yeye hana huo uwezo wa kutengeneza hiyo software. Sasa yeye anaweza akakufuata ukamwambia wewe umemwona nani kafanya. Yaani nataka uone kwamba katika watu wote wewe ndio umefikiria wa kwanza hicho kitu. So hivyo ndio vitu ambavyo tunakuaga tunajidiscourage wenyewe. Kwa at the end of the day hamna anayejaribu, kila mmoja anaona hamna aliyefanya au hajawahi kusikia mtu kafanyikiwa kwenye hiyo domain. Kwa hiyo inakuwa ni tatizo. So that's my advice for software programmers au software engineers au startups ambao wako kwenye tech side.
I think with this guy, you can sit with him the whole day and have a long conversation, right? Very interesting, very inspiring, very connecting, and education as well. I think we got the right ice. We got the ice. Godfrey Magila, nashukuru sana kwa kuja. Thank you very much kama Startup Grind. A couple of things I'd like to say ni kwamba when we enter in business, wanasema like 70% of the business usually fail, right? Wanakwambia most of the people with ideas or cancer business, whatever. And this is something that I usually tell people. For more than 10 years I've been telling people. I got it from a line somewhere. 5% luck, 20% skills, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain. That's what you get 100 reasons to remember his name. He's got all of that. Narudia, 5% luck, 20% skills, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure. Make anasake sijui. So far we don't know what he does for pleasure. But 50% is pain. You've heard so much pain in his life, but look at this man, he's still standing up and doing everything in his life. We can do the same thing. That's why we're here today, right? We're not here to put each other down, but rather to raise each other up. Whatever you're doing, sasa. Before we end this session, we usually give a present. Kama jamaliza. Ta-da-da-dum! Dramatic effects. Before we're done with our session, I am dramatic sometimes. Sasa, baba, unaweza kaa huko, let's make it big. Tutengeneze kiki kidogo, like, tunamshikia shati. When we're done with every session, jamani, we usually give our guest a present. Na as Startup Grind, tumejikusanya kidogo kasema, you know what? Tumpe zawadi.
Thank you.
Makofi basi. Do I really have to tell you?
It's a lot.
I mean, we try. We're a startup as well. So, karibu sana, we're happy to have you. You're very humble, but a very, very smart man. Hopefully, you will take that energy to a different level, higher and higher and higher. Pia, shout out to the team, ambayo kwa kweli siaiona. You might stand up to apige makofi, because I think you're also doing a big job. Magilatech, mko wapi team? You guys, I'm sure you're here. Okay. Thank you. Simameni. Big up for doing a big job as well. Tunajua sio yeye peke yake, it's also a big team. Ila tuna mashati for all of you. But we still love you from the heart. Don't worry. Sasa, another great news I can share with you right now. We have another event coming up in August, tarehe 23, if I'm not mistaken. We have another event, and in fact, it's also going to be inspiring and as rewarding like this. Ivo. It's a person I'm basically not yes. Should I? I'm conflicted. Should I say it? Really? I don't know. If you really like this session, basi mtafuatilia on our social media pages. Instagram ni Startup Grind Da. Instagram Startup Grind Da. Facebook Startup Grind Da. Kama hivi tu, you can just read me right now. Startup Grind Da. Ingia our Instagram, our Facebook, our Twitter. We're always connected. We're always active, telling you what we're doing next. Now, you never know. Kama hapa tukimaliza maongezi, talk to this man, msimkabe. Listen, he's still young, he needs to live his life. exchange numbers. I'm sure he has a different number where he can talk to other people. Mark, his personal number is crowded after today.
I only have one number.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So, interesting. Sasa mtaongea naye hapa, you know, mingle, and you can also talk to it. I've seen some very interesting faces and questions. Na kuna watu hapa they're doing interesting things. So, we're done for today, but karibuni 23 August. Jamani, keep in mind, we can't remind them because I'll be texting. I'm a very big texter. So nita text kwa kumbusha jamani karibuni ni event yetu 23 August. Nimeambia nisiwaambie ni nani, but it's very interesting as well. Thank you. Back to normal, back to reality, back to life. Thanks. Thank you very much. Karibu sana.